Hello everyone, welcome to the next episode of SpongeBob Now. Today, I will be talking about Dear Vikings and Ditchin. First, I'm going to talk about Dear Vikings. Enjoy. Mr. Krabs creates a Viking promotion at the Krusty Krab by serving regular, large, and Viking-sized drinks, which really are all the same size, in a bid to save the restaurant money, yet at the same time, to fool the customers into paying more money for the same size drink. He also states that whoever orders a Viking-sized cup tries on a cardboard helmet that he found in his attic, which is also a gimmick for more money. This gets SpongeBob interested in Vikings. Squidward then teaches him about Vikings, though nothing he said was true. SpongeBob sends a letter to the Vikings, although it is immediately thrown out, as the letter does not have a valid address on it. SpongeBob wrote, "To Vikings, with a heart." Meanwhile, at the post office, a garbage man who is revealed to be a Viking notices it and delivers the letter to the Viking chief. The chief then sends his men to the Krusty Krab to teach them about the Vikings, which is redecorating, appropriating, and liberating, and they abduct SpongeBob and Squidward. The Vikings bring SpongeBob and Squidward to their ship, where the captain, Gordon, introduces his crew, which all share the name, Olaf. SpongeBob asks what they do for fun, which is just throwing a shield, and one of the Vikings says they like to sing songs, even though they actually do not sing, and he then gets catapulted off the ship. The Vikings proceed to make SpongeBob the head chef, and Squidward the bathroom attendant. Soon afterward, Squidward complains about the poor lifestyle, which results in the Vikings tying him to a catapult in an effort to launch him off of their ship. Soon, the Vikings discover that they have hit a rock and that their boat will leak, which gives SpongeBob an idea. He then plugs up the boat with his porous appearance, and saves the Vikings, claiming the events to be a Viking-sized adventure. Next, I'm going to talk about Ditchin. Enjoy. After watching an episode of The Adventures of Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, SpongeBob and Patrick see a commercial for the new book saying that Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy will be signing the book starting at 8 o'clock. SpongeBob is unhappy due to the fact that he has to go to boating school. Patrick suggests calling in sick, but SpongeBob does not want his perfect attendance record to end. They then decide that SpongeBob will wait until he has to go to the bathroom, and then sneak to the comic book store when Mrs. Puff gives him the bathroom key. The next day in boating school, SpongeBob has to go to the bathroom. Mrs. Puff gives him the bathroom key and tells him to return it to her desk, and with that, SpongeBob exits the school. He and Patrick get to the store and get their books signed and walk through jellyfish fields. The jellyfish start to lift up Patrick and let him sit on them, with Patrick stating they are friendly. They then throw themselves into SpongeBob's net, then leave. SpongeBob and Patrick continue, ending up buying ice cream. Incidental 49 congratulates SpongeBob on being her 100th customer and tells him he can come back for free ice cream anytime. The two pursue into Goo Lagoon, where they get into a badminton match with Sandy and a friend named Dale. SpongeBob and Patrick end Sandy's unbeatable streak and are convinced by their fans to play another round. The cops come and arrest Dale, who is an ex-con on probation, for eating gummy fish. A fish tells SpongeBob that he and Dale were classmates back at boating school and he was a nice guy until he started cutting class, and ever since then, he became a criminal. With this, SpongeBob, who fears that he will meet the same fate as Dale if he kept ditching class, started to head back to school. SpongeBob has to race through the Bikini Bottom hug fest where a woman grabs him. He forces her to let go and continues. He ends up in a pit of tar and starts to drown, remembering the last words that Mrs. Puff said to him. Realizing he never returned the bathroom key, SpongeBob then fights his way out with a crowd cheering him on. He makes it back to the school with Mrs. Puff at the door and she becomes infuriated. He explains what he did, with her not knowing what he is talking about and does not have time for it since she has her own problems. The police are arresting her for ditching jury duty. The car pulls off with her telling SpongeBob to never ditch. SpongeBob adheres and says he will never ditch again, leaving her furious and confused with him wondering what, again, meant. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos. Goodbye everyone.